glad you could join us. I'm Annette Sherman. This is Community. The State College of Florida, Sarasota, Manatee, has launched a new program to help businesses and their employees improve their, quote, customer service skills, unquote. The program is called Senior Sensitivity Customer Service Excellence. The program consists of a 3-hour interactive session that allows participants to walk in the shoes, if you will, of older adults. Activities, stimulation, and challenges such as loss of hearing or vision, difficulty walking, dealing with arthritis, etc., etc. Let me introduce my guests, and then you'll learn more about this wonderful new, I guess, program at State College of Florida. My first guest is Lee Kotwicki. Had you ever entertained the possibility of shortening your name?
No.
No, it's a fine, perfectly fine name. But do people trip over it?
They do.
Okay, well, maybe it's not as fine as we think. But it's actually a very simple name when you look at it, Kotwicki.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
pronounced exactly how it looks.
Well,
but
that's a benefit. And she's the Director of Workforce Solutions at State College of Florida. And then we have Stacy Prouty, and she is a State College of Florida adjunct instructor. And we'll find out more. In fact, first thing let's do is find out more about each of you. I've got some notes here that I want to check with and make sure that I don't forget anything. I have it mixed up here, so I'll have to find exactly what I'm looking for. The first thing I really want to talk about is about your backgrounds and where you're from and where you went to school and so forth. Okay, let's find out a bit more about your background. As I said in training, let's start with you, Lee,
yes.
and then Stacy, okay?
Okay.
All right, background.
Yes, I was born and raised in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, and I came to Sarasota in 1990, so I've been here 26 years.
I thought she said 1890. I said, you look wonderful for your age. No, 1990.
1990. And so I've been here 26 years. And I went to school at State College of Florida, earned my associate's degree, and then I went on to the University of South Florida, Sarasota, Manatee, and earned my bachelor's of management.
Okay, let's find out about your background, and then we'll move on.
Well, it's very similar to yours, Lee.
I never knew that.
I didn't grow up in Ontario, but I did grow up in Chicago, Illinois, and moved south right after high school, attended State College of Florida.
South to Sarasota?
Correct.
Oh, what a good choice on your part.
Indeed. 1982, so I've been here quite a long time.
Yeah, seems like it.
Got my first 2 years of college at State College of Florida, went to University of South Florida and got a degree in marketing, and then at the age of 45 went to Argosy University for my
45?
45.
Well, it's amazing because you don't look 30, let alone 45.
Well, thank you.
That's wonderful. You have to leave me some of your secrets written down. Okay.
Got the cream right here. No, got my master's in business, and I have been working in the community for 30 years.
Right. Interesting. Your work experience, well, I guess you included some of that when you told me about it. Any past work experience that relates to what we're doing now?
Not for me.
Not for you.
No.
Okay. Stacy?
When I graduated from Argosy,
Marketing.
yes, correct. I read in the paper about a project called the Institute for the Ages, and it was to explore the fact that we've been disproportionately older for decades, and what has Sarasota Manatee learned by doing so or being that way, and what could we teach the rest of the country that is aging rapidly and the other developed countries. And so I worked there for 2 years to work with companies and government entities that were trying to learn what people want and need as they age.
Very important subject today, because as you mentioned, people are living longer, and statistically, I think at this point we are over 30% in our area of people who are 85 and over. Is that a correct statistic, or you haven't not checked them? When last time I checked, it was approximately 30%.
Well, it's 33% or 34% over the age of 65 in Sarasota County. Sarasota County is the oldest large county in America. Venice is the oldest large city in America, small city, I'm sorry. And the fastest segment of the population in terms of growth is 85 plus. So you are on the money.
Well, it is a very timely thing. And how did this all start? How did this program start?
The program started with a company called, well, it was the municipality, City of Venice, who requested customer service training.
Requested what?
Customer service training.
Customer service training
Yes.
from the State College.
Yes,
Okay. Not knowing if you would even have such a thing.
correct. But we did a proposal to them, and we were chosen to provide that training. And so we facilitated it 3 times to the City of Venice this year. And they have employees who work different shifts, so they wanted to make sure that they could cover as many employees as possible, such as even the firefighters.
Okay, I want to make clear that most of these, and I stop me if I'm mistaken in this, are these courses, if you will, or classes. They're really not classes. They're what would you call them, Stacy?
In this case, it's a 3-hour interactive workshop.
It's a workshop. Okay, the workshop takes place not necessarily at the college.
That's correct. It
Okay.
happens at the place of business.
Okay, more typically at the place of business?
Typically at the place of business, however, if they want, they can use one of our 4 facilities.
Okay,
So we-
okay. It's very interesting that I would imagine most of the courses given at State College or any college are at the college. So this is unusual because it takes the people back to their workplace.
It does, and so it's very unique, and we make it very convenient. So they actually get to choose the date and the time that they want that training to take place.
So there's one 3-hour workshop.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to talk about what you do and what you hope to accomplish. There is a certain amount of funding that is available for these workshops.
There is funding available. They can apply to the Career Source Suncoast, which covers 50% of the cost. There's also Career Edge, which is a privately funded collaborative that will sometimes cover the cost of certain trainings, and depending on what type of industry is offering the training.
So there's a company that hires you, hires the college,
Yes.
State College, then we can assume we'll have half the expenses paid for or underwritten.
It's available. It's not to be assumed because there is some paperwork involved, and some companies choose to go that route. Others prefer to just pay the cost up front.
How long has this program been in existence?
I would say about a year.
About a year. And
This
you've both
particular
been
one.
involved since the inception.
Yes.
Okay.
Stacy and another facilitator, Joan Lowry, are actually the 2 people who developed the program, the curriculum for this particular training.
Do either of you have grandparents that may offer you some insight about the problems they have?
For me, my grandparents are deceased, but my mother is in her 80s, and she actually still works part-time for Kohl's, so she provides customer service and works closely with the elderly.
Okay, do you have parents, grandparents who may?
My mother participates in any research that I do or any workshop that I do, and she's
Happily so,
happily
or darn it, you asked me
happily
again.
so. We've tested many products and strategies with her and gotten her opinions in several focus groups, but I, on a daily basis, work at Aviva, which is formerly Kobernick Anshin Benderson, and I am surrounded by people who could be aunts, uncles, or even grandparents.
Yeah, okay. We have some pictures, and I think that they may be worth a lot of words. We'll see. Can we see the first picture, please? There it is on the screen. Ladies, you want to tell us what we see?
Sure. This is with our training at the City of Venice. As you can see in the photo, we have some police officers. I believe there may even be some of the firefighters in this photo. Joan
And
Lowry.
what is the topic? What is the
This is the experiential part of the workshop where we have people donning various props such as rubber gloves. We use rubber bands around the first digits of the fingers so that it would simulate what someone might be struggling with if they had arthritis. And then we have pill boxes where we have them actually trying to take out a dose with compromised sensitivity to what they're touching, as well as perhaps some arthritis in their hands, and have them actually feel how long it
so
takes
what your goal
to.
here is, so that we get it clear, because we've
Yes.
been dancing around a little bit, is to have the employee of the company you're working for understand what the specific trials and tribulations of an older adult would be, and to be aware of these problems, and to do what?
I think approach the customer service in a way that is more empathetic and understanding of what it feels like to have some of these, I guess, difficulties on a daily basis.
The only thought my mind jumps to in question is we cannot generalize. We shouldn't.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, because you talk about arthritis. Now, some older people don't have arthritis.
That's correct.
And they don't have poor vision because they've had whatever they had needed, cataract surgery or whatever, or they're wearing glasses or contacts. So the assumption that all older people have these problems, of course, are not necessarily the case.
And one of the segments that we touch upon is about assumptions and people's assumptions when they look at the face of somebody who's in their 60s or 70s, 80s or 90s. And we say, well, what does that face say to you? And it's very interesting because some people will say very wise, very thoughtful. Some people will say that person obviously has memory issues, and it's all what they're thinking, and we make them aware of that.
There's no question that that kind of awareness can help, because very often people, I was talking to you before we went on the air, and I said that the fast speech, which is very, very commonplace today, I called somebody and I said, I need to get some information from you, just a moment. I'll listen to your, however I said it, I need to get some information from you. And I don't think I said anything additionally. When I went to get it, she started talking. That's what it sounded like. And I went to get a pad and pen, and then she had hung up already. She was finished. What did you say? But I think, we were talking about this before we went on the air, I think if you ask people, even in your phone message, to please speak slowly, they may start off speaking slowly, but they gain their speed back again. And it is very, very, because they're texting fast, and everything they're doing is faster. So it's very, very difficult to break these habits. But it
Indeed.
is very important for the older person to have the person on the phone not only speak slowly and clearly, but, for instance, leaving their phone number twice.
And one of the things that we coach employees on is a technique to help them do their job better is to go slow, to go fast. So instead of having to have you call this person back several times to get the information that you need, if they would have slowed down and understood,
Could have gotten it.
they could have gotten it in a very short amount of time.
Okay, I want to see the other pictures, but I also want to, before we move forward, I want to put the telephone number on the screen that you can call. I don't think the people can, well, they can call individually, but actually, if they're not working, is there an opportunity for them to get this kind of, well, they don't really, they may need, I'm stopping myself 4 or 5 times, they may need this training. How do they get it if they're not associated with a company?
Well, if they're not associated with a company, we can do what's called a consortium. So we can offer a training where we have maybe 2 people come from one company, 1 person from another, people from within the community can join it.
They can,
And
okay,
in that case,
find out is
Yes.
what Lee is saying. And the number to call is on your screen now, 941-363-7218, is that?
yes,
Okay, 7218, and then the other is an email address that you can contact almost any time of the day or night. The telephone number obviously is the phone number of State College, so you want to call that during business hours. All right, we'll leave that on the screen for a while, and we'll come back to it. There's some other things that you use. Let's run down the other things that you have the students do. It's
Okay.
popcorn in the shoes.
The experiential part of the workshop includes putting popcorn in people's shoes. We have
Why is that?
the reason is to simulate what it might feel like at a certain
Oh,
point.
the discomfort that
The
that older
discomfort
people
in
feel
walking
sometimes, yeah.
and how the body responds to that discomfort and why people perhaps then need to use an assistive device such as a walking stick or a walker. And we have people also, in addition to that, experience what it might feel like to have a cataract or have hearing issues by putting earplugs in the ears. And we have
Maybe we
them.
put popcorn in the air and
Could have done the popcorn in the ear, and that would be a visit to the doctor. So we don't do that.
I have a few. We're going to leave the phone number on the screen, please. I have a few suggestions myself. I wish you could pass a law to make companies stop using automated answers. Because the automated answer, you can't say, would you mind repeating that?
it's also very impersonal.
But if you do, it's not going to help you. And the automation is very frustrating for most people, not only people with hearing difficulties, but most people, because they really can't get the kind of give and take that they should get. They used to do with the Northern Trust Bank, used to have, they don't have it anymore. It's called Northern Trust. This is Northern Trust Bank, and I'm a real live person. How can I help you? Oh, but wait till I stop screaming and jumping up and down, and then I'll tell you how you can help me. But that's wonderful. They don't do it anymore. It's probably too expensive. It's cheaper to use the automation. Then there is a machine that is offered to people with hearing difficulty, and it's sort of like a closed caption machine, and it's free of charge for people who order it and want it, need it. And what really, you probably heard me screaming hooray when I look at the closed caption, if you speak on the other end of the phone, and it comes up, instead of telling me what you said, it comes up inaudible. So it's not just me that finds, it's not your speech is fine, but the speech of that person, inaudible. But the machine finds it inaudible. So I guess people have told this person, you're either talking too fast or not clearly enough. Maybe they'll learn that at the workshops that you give. The telephone number was on the screen. We'll put it on the screen again. We don't have too much time. But I do think that that the workshops that you offer are needy, are needed, and are helpful. And there are people who are young people who also, and I was telling you this before we went on the air, I had an audiologist, doctor of audiology on, this is last year, and she said that her associate, and who was with her, is working exclusively on young people and the hearing difficulties that the young population are starting to experience because of their loud music and because of other things that they incorrectly do. And that is going to be the new wave of people using hearing aids, is the young people. And I'm saddened by that because I think it can be avoided. However, I do think that if you are an older adult and you are experiencing some of the things we're talking about, you may want to call State College of Florida and find out how you can get in touch with either of these two ladies and arrange for something for your company or for yourself that helps you to hear better and to feel better and to accomplish more in your daily activities. We have more pictures, but I don't think we have more time. We do have enough time? Okay, let's see another picture, please. What do we see there? They've come to arrest you girls. They say, no, what is the story here?
These gentlemen are from the city of Venice, and they think that they're expert with dealing with older adults and in their daily work. And yet, when we put them through the paces, they found that there were some things that maybe they didn't quite know what it would feel like to have.
Or weren't aware of.
They were not aware of. They do tend to wear gloves when they're interfacing with people in the healthcare arena. So they were pretty good with the gloves. However, when we put special glasses on to simulate diabetic retinopathy or cataracts or loss of peripheral vision, they couldn't read the headline of a newspaper. And I think it showed them just how difficult it could be, or how time-consuming it might be to be able to get out of the house and get down to the city of Venice.
And how needed it is for
Yes.
these people who service the older population to understand that and speak to them in a way that the older person can understand and do all the things that are necessary, help them to realize they can't get from there to here that quickly. They're going
Correct.
to take a great deal more time. And various different things. Now, not all older people have these problems, but many do. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, next picture, please.
So this is with Village on the Isle in Venice. Their workforce, while extremely capable with people who are senior, enjoyed the workshop because they got to do some role playing. What are we doing right? What could we do better? And the gal in the seat is playing somebody who's older, who actually has dementia, and the woman who looks like a nurse is actually playing a nurse. And we see how it goes awry when the nurse tries to go too fast and not pay attention to what the person with dementia is doing. And then we play it again where she's actually not looking at her phone or at papers, and she's paying attention to what the person is actually saying to her and is empathetic to what that person is actually feeling who has memory
We
loss.
just have about a minute left. Time went very, very quickly. We have about 4 minutes left, actually. Just enough time to repeat the telephone number and remind people that most of these workshops, they're really not classes, they're workshops, take place in the business location itself. So this is something that you can arrange when you do arrange this. And apparently some of the cost involved can also be underwritten by various different sources. So you find out that information when you call. The number to call, 363-7218, and that will connect you to the college.
That will connect them directly to me.
Oh, you want to call this lovely lady, so don't call her for
Live.
any other reason, but just
Live, I will answer, hopefully.
All right, and then you call, and then you can use the email address if you choose to, any time of the day or night, and that will connect you again with the right people. It'll come back and respond to you and explain what you have to do in order to get involved. And I know a half a dozen people off the top of my head who would love to have be in a class like this because they work with older adults. But as we said, I don't think you can miss out on that if you live in this community. Some of your clients are going to be older adults because we are replete with them, and that's fine. Because you might say, oh, but you wouldn't say, when you get to be 70, 75, or what have you, you say, oh, let's put everybody through this workshop and have them all learn how to behave with older people.
Well,
Thank you.
can I add one thing?
Yes.
What kind of world do you want to live in? One that is helping people of all ages, or one that is making assumptions about age?
Helping people of older age, or what?
I think for all employees, you want them not only to, what kind of world will they want to live in?
Oh, that's good.
as
The
they
younger
age?
people themselves want to
Yes.
live in that world. Absolutely, good point. And if with any luck, they're going to get there.
Yes.
And if they prepare the kind of thinking that is necessary and help with workshops such as you ladies are talking about, I think the world will be better for them and more comfortable for the person offering the
Indeed.
service. Thank you so much for taking time out of your
Thank
busy
you.
day. Keep on keeping on, ladies, because what you're doing is important and very, very necessary. We have a few moments, and I want to remind you that we are close to our community video archives luncheon, which is once a year. It'll be April the 24th, and we have 4 absolutely deserving, wonderful, outstanding people who we are going to induct into our Hall of Fame. The 24th. Call me directly, 365-7052. But most of you probably know the number. We'll see you next time. Thank you, ladies, again.
Thank you, Annette.
Thank you.
Bye-bye for now.
The time really flew. We bid you adieu from community. If you want to know why we love it here, so check out Community. Well, it's a who's who, a what's, when, and where show. It's a mover and shakers who care show. Meet your neighbors and friends, each one has a passion. The topics vary from nature to fashion. The host with the most on our cultural coast is Annette with Community. See you next time. Want to know why we love it here, so check out Community. Well, it's a who's who, a what's, when, and where show. It's a mover and shakers who care show. Meet your neighbors and friends, each one has a passion. The topics vary from nature to fashion. The host with the most on our cultural coast is Annette with Community. See you next time.